Good morning, brothers and sisters. Today is Tuesday, November the 2nd, and I believe it is 12:03 noontime. We're going to start off with two sound sayings, but we're going to read each one with each reading. So we will be reading from Psalms 50 today, a psalm of Asaph. Okay? The first sound saying is from 1 John 3:2, and it says, "We know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is." This is just the second coming. And when we see him, he will look the same way he looked when he ascended. He will not be a day older. He will be 33 years old. And you will see him in his spiritual self. He will look different. And he will be undeniably the Christ. Okay, so we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And you know, he will come with what? A host. He will come with a host of heavenly bodies, all kinds of creatures that they will be riding on, horses, elephants, and they will have heavenly tears. You know, that which is from heaven always looks more beautiful than anything man can create on earth. Even an outfit or even a heavenly color is always more it's more in depth than any earthly color we can create. If you see something that is heavenly black, it will be so black and shiny that we cannot create anything that looks like it. Okay, so heavenly colors and earthly colors are totally two different colors, and the heavenly colors are more brilliant in color. You will have to see something in your dreams to understand the beauty of heavenly colors. Okay? The backup is from Philippians 1:9. "And this I pray, that your love may abound yet more and more in knowledge and in all judgment. And this I pray, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and in all judgment." And as we know today, love does not abound. There's a lot happening. I looked on the news last night, and this particular incident happened in New York Transit. A young lady said something to another gentleman who happened to be a black man. The young lady was a white woman, and I believe she says something to the matter of calm down or take a chill pill. Yes, that's what she said. She told the young man to take a chill pill. Now this train, you know, New York trains, they're always cluttered with people. There's always no sitting space but standing. So these two individuals were standing adjacent to one another, and the woman simply said, "Take a chill pill," and the man punched her in her face not once, not twice, but 3 or 4 or 5 times, and not one person, brothers and sisters, not one man. She was surrounded by men, okay, and not one man helped this young lady, not one. Okay, this is the world we live in today. This is the hatred we show to each other today. So we are, as I said, we are not abounding in love. We are abounding in hatred for one another. Okay, and this is not manly. She was surrounded by males, but none of them were men. Do you understand that? She was surrounded by males, but not one of them was a man at all. All right, so let's read Psalms 50. And this is so sad. This is extremely sad and scary. The mighty God, the Lord, speaks and summons the earth. The mighty one, God, the Lord, speaks and summons the earth. From the rising of the sun to the place where it sets. From Zion, perfect in beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes and will not be silent. A fire devours before him, and around him a tempest rages. He summons the heaven above and the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather to me my consecrated ones, who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens proclaim his righteousness, for God himself is judge. Selah. That means to ponder, think about it. Hear, O my people, and I will speak. O Israel, and I will testify against you. I am God, your God. I do not rebuke you for your sacrifices or your burnt offerings, which are ever before me. I have no need of a bull from your stall or of a goat from your pens. For every animal of the forest is mine, and the cattle on 1,000 hills, amen. I know every bird in the mountain, and the creatures of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world is mine and all that is in it. Do I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Sacrifice thanks offerings to God. Fulfill your voice to the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you will honor me. And call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver you, and you will honor me. But when God delivers the people today, who do they give their honor to? They give it to each other. They give it not to the Lord. In the same way that in the day of that insurrection in January, they gave the honor and praise to the guards and to this guy and that person, but not once did they thank God. Not once. But to the wicked, God says, what right have you to recite my law or take my covenant on your lips? What right have you to even say, oh my God? What right? You hate my instructions and cast my words behind you. When you see a thief, you join with him. Is this not describing the world we live in? When you see a rapist, you turn your head. When you see a woman assaulted, you stand there and watch. The same as this person who sees a thief and joins in. You hate my instruction and cast my words behind you. When you see a thief, you join with him. You throw in your lot with adulterers. You use your mouth for evil and harness your tongue to deceit. You speak continuously against your brother and slander your own mother's son. These things you have done, and I kept silent. You thought I was altogether like you, but I will rebuke you and accuse you to your face. Consider this, you who forget God, or I will tear you to pieces with none to rescue you. None. In the same way that no one helped my sister who was raped in Upper Darby. No one helped my sister who was assaulted on a bus in New York yesterday. No one will help you. No one. And all those who sit there and watch this monstrosity go on, you're just as guilty as the person who did the act. That's what people don't understand. You're no different than the person who commits the horrendous act. Your siblings. Consider this, you who forget God, or I will tear you to pieces with none to rescue. He who sacrifices thanksgiving honors me, and he prepares the way so that I may show him the salvation of God. And that is all 23 verses of that beautiful song written by Asaph. All right, so now let's go to, I may try to give you some additional information at the end. Very sure. All right, we will be reading from Jeremiah 6. But we have one more sound saying. It's coming from Matthew 10:19. Take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. Don't ever consider what you are to say in any particular situation or time. At the right time, the Holy Spirit will speak unto thee and tell you what to say. So don't worry yourself about how you should say anything. Just wait on God and he will give you the words to speak from your mouth. All right? So take no thought at all on how or what ye should speak at all. For it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall say. All right? Psalm 73, 37:3. Sorry. Trust in the Lord and do good. Trust in God and do good. Sometimes doing good may mean that you might get a little banged up, but that's okay. As long as you are getting banged up with doing good. Do not sit there and watch anything happen and you behold this terrible thing and you take no action at all. That is doing evil. So trust in God and do good. If he tells you to take a hand in this, then he will have your back. You will not be harmed. If whatever he tells you to do, you do it. All right? Because if you fail to do it, the punishment you receive will not even be worth you being disobedient unto God. Period. Trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. You will not go hungry. You will not have a need. When you call upon him, he will answer thee. He will protect you. He will deliver you. When you what? When you trust in him and you do that which is good in his sight, not in the sight of man, because man's eyesight now is totally blind. It is blind to that which is good, blind to that which is righteous. Their ears are closed unto the words of God. Period. Okay, now let's begin. Now, during this time, Jerusalem was doing much sin. Okay, as the world is today, and it's not just America. It's really all over the place. All over the place. I would love to say Africa is a little different, but even in Africa, there are things happening in Africa that is a disgrace unto the Lord. Period. As he said, no one does good. No one. Okay, so in this particular reading, Jerusalem is deep in sin. Okay, and this is their punishment for their acts. Let's read all about it, shall we? Let me see if this one has a little bit more in depth. Let's see if it gives us a little bit more information. No, it doesn't. It just simply says Jerusalem coming destruction is foretold. All right. Let's begin. Flee for safety, people of Benjamin. Flee from Jerusalem! Exclamation mark. Flee from safety, people of Benjamin, exclamation mark. Flee from Jerusalem, exclamation mark. Sound the trumpets in Tekoa. Raise the signal over Beth Hakaram, for disaster looms out of the north. Every terrible destruction, for disaster looms out of the north. Every terrible destruction. I will destroy the daughters of Zion, so beautiful and delicate. Shepherds with their flocks will come against her. They will pitch their tents around her, each tending his own portion. Prepare for the battle against her. Arise, let us attack at noon. But at last the daylight is fading, and the shadows of evenings grow long. So arise, let us attack at night and destroy her fortress. This is what the Lord Almighty said. Cut down the trees and build siege ramps against Jerusalem. This city must be punished. It will be filled with oppression. As a well poured out its water, so she pours out her wickedness. Violence and destruction resounds in her. Her sickness and wounds are ever before me. Take warning, O Jerusalem, or I will turn away from you and make your land desolate, so no one can live in it. This is what the Lord Almighty said. Let them glean the remnants of Israel as thoroughly as a vine. Pass your hand over the branches again, like one gathering grapes. To whom can I speak and give warning? Who will listen to me? Their ears are closed, so they cannot hear. The word of the Lord is offensive to them, as it is today. Their ears are closed, so they cannot hear. The word of the Lord is offensive to them. They find no pleasure in it. For I am full of the wrath of the Lord, and I cannot hold it in. Pour it out on the children in the streets and on the young men gathered together. Both husband and wife will be caught in it, and the old, those weighed down with years. Their houses will be turned over to others. As it is today. Today a man will forsake his wife and children and give that which belongs to his wife and children to a stranger that he cannot even call a wife. Their houses were turned over to others together with their field and their wives. When I stretch out my hand against those who live in the land, declared the Lord. From the least to the greatest, all are greedy for gain. What does that mean? From the poor to the rich, all of them are greedy for gain. Greed does not discriminate at all. From the least to the greatest, all are greedy for gain. Prophets and priests alike all practice deceit. There was a pastor who was killed in his church just about a week ago. It was called some kind of cult. And part of being among his congregation, you had to insure your children, and the insurance policy had to be placed in the pastor's name. And this was for all those who was in his cult. When is this done? When is it necessary to insure your children so that a servant can gain from their death? How evil is that? And yet, you do not have enough sense to realize that this is wicked, and you join his church. That is called being blind. And people are truly blind today. They like to go to church so they can have fun. It is like a club to them. Church is not where you go and have fun. If you want to have fun, go to a club, go to a bar, make a party in your home. That is having fun. But when you go to worship God, that is worship. It is never meant to be fun. It's meant to be sacred. From the least to the greatest, all are greedy for gain. Prophets and priests alike all practice deceit. They dress the wounds of my people as though it was not serious. Peace, peace, they say, when there is no peace. Are they ashamed of their loathsome conduct? No, they have no shame at all. They do not even know how to blush. So they will fall among the fallen. They will be brought down when I punish them, said the Lord. This same pastor was killed in his church, as he deserved. This is what the Lord said. Stand at the crossroad and look. Ask for the ancient path. Ask for the ancient path. Stand at the crossroad and look. Ask for the ancient path. Ask where the good way is and walk in it. And you will find rest for your souls. But you say, we will not walk in it. I appointed watchmen over you and said, listen to the sound of the trumpet. But you said, we will not listen. Therefore hear, O nations, observe, O witnesses, what will happen to them. Hear, O earth, I am bringing disaster on this people, the fruit of their schemes, because they have not listened to my words and have rejected my laws. And this is not something that just happened yesterday or 2 days ago or 10 years ago. This has been going on for over 100 years. Backsliding. And here we are today. Every day something else is happening. Each unbelievable. Monstrosities. And everybody is good with it. Hear, O earth, I am bringing disaster on this people, the fruit of their schemes, because they have not listened to my word and have rejected my law. What do I care about incense from Sheba, or sweet calamus from a distant land? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable. Your sacrifices do not please me. Therefore, this is what the Lord said. I will put obstacles before this people. Fathers and sons alike will stumble over them. Neighbors and friends will perish. This is what the Lord said. Look, an army is coming from the land of the north. A great nation is being stirred up from the ends of the earth. They are armed with bows and spears. They are cruel and show no mercy. They sound like the roaring sea. As they ride on their horses, they come like men in battle formation to attack you, O daughter of Zion. We have heard reports of them, and our hands hang limp. Anguish has gripped us, pain like that of a woman in labor. Do not go out to the field or walk on the roads, for the enemy has a sword, and there is terror on every side. O my people, put on sackcloth and roll in ashes. Moan with bitter wailing as for an only son. For suddenly the destroyer will come upon us. I have made you a tester of metal, and my people the orc, that you may observe the test their ways. They are all hardened rebels, going about to slander. They are bronze and iron. They all act corruptly. The bellows blow fiercely to burn away the lead with fire. But the refining goes on in vain. The wicked are not purged out. They are called rejected silver, because the Lord has rejected them. And the Lord has rejected this generation. Period. And this is why you see so much going on in our world that is outlandish. We have been rejected. And just because the Lord rejects the people does not mean that he rejects all of the people. Because like I said to you before, in every generation, my brothers and sisters, there will always be those that are faithful unto God. Always, in every generation. Even though there are few, there will always be those that are faithful unto God. And these folks never have need to feel what's going on our earth, because God knows who his targets are. He knows everything that's going on in this world. He knows everything that even is not exposed to the public, which is even greater evil. That this is why it is hidden. This is not an honest world at all. It is not a godly world at all. And we all know that in order for a nation to be great, it must be a godly nation. It must be a godly nation. We must adhere to his laws and his commandments. We must undo the things that we have done. We must return to God wholeheartedly. And until we do that, you will continue to see more monstrosity among this world. But sooner or later, the world will recognize that the divine authority of this earth does judge us. And he will judge us well according to our deeds, whether it be good or evil. Thank you very much for listening to us here at Spiritual Water. My name is Brenda Guerrero. And as always, may the peace of God be upon you. May the protection of God surround you. And may the will of God for this earth be manifested. Thank you and have a beautiful day. And as always, I love you, but God will always love you the most.